Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at the round eTrailer pipe-mounted swivel top line jack. Now on the trailer that we have our jack mounted on, this is going to be one that's used for four-wheelers or side-by-sides, but generally it's going to be the same load over and over, and it's never really overloaded. So as far as weight capacity, this jack is perfectly matched to it with a 5,000 pound support weight. Now it also has a 3,000 pound lift weight, so pretty much whatever we put on here, it shouldn't really go over that limit. Now, as far as different limits, if you have a trailer that's a little bit heavier or you have a heavier load, there's other options available with higher capacities that might better suit your trailer. Now with this weight capacity, it's going to be great for a pop-up camper, a teardrop, or even just a smaller trailer that you haul around. These numbers are pretty solid, but again, you just want to make sure you don't overload it. Now, some of the features that this has that's really nice is going to be your top wind. So, great thing is your side winds work just fine, but a lot of times you're kind of having a crank like this. This I can just keep my body straight, and it just makes it nice and easy. And another thing that's great about it is the handle can fold down, so that way when we put it in its stowed position, it's also out of the way. Now something you do want to keep in mind with the top wind is the radius here is going to be 7.5 inches, so just making sure you have clearance, that way you're not binding up or busting your knuckles while cranking up your jack. Now this is going to fit a bunch of different trailers because it has quite a bit of adjustability, so when it's fully retracted you're looking at 16 inches, but it does have 15 inches of travel, making the fully extended length 31. So again, depending on your trailer, if you need a little more height or pretty low, this should cover a lot of different styles. I personally like pipe mounted jacks because the fact that you really don't have to crank them down all the way to gain that ground clearance like you do on some of the other jacks out there, because you can simply just pull this pin and rotate this, and that way it's completely out of the way and you don't really have to worry about that ground clearance. So you just drop your pin right in the hole and it's stowed up, keeping this out of the way. You can even move your handle over, so you can see it's just about level with the bottom of the A-frame, so I'm not worried about any road hazards making contact with the jack. Another great part too is if you use the same trailer and truck combination, when you are ready to put the jack down, you don't have to wind it all the way down. You can simply just pull the pin, drop this in place, and there's just going to be a few rotations to lift that up, but it's already going to be kind of set to the height that you had it when you originally raised it. Now if your trailer already has a pipe mount on it, you're going to want to make sure to measure it to make sure that it fits. You're looking for a 2-inch outside diameter. That way it can slip into the factory mounted bracket here, but not to worry if you don't have one, it's actually going to come with this. That way you can weld this onto your trailer wherever you want and you can mount this up. A jack is definitely one of those things on the trailer that you really don't really think about upgrading until you have a bad one or if you just need to add one. And part of that is really once it starts binding up and it gets hard to crank, it's time for a new jack. And this one's going to be easy to maintain for the lifespan of it. You have a Zerk fitting here that's already pre-installed, so a little spurt of grease here and there is going to keep this nice and lubricated, and the entire thing is coated with a zinc coating, so it's going to hold up against corrosion and rust, so that way you're not having it build up in here and binding up. Now we also see our foot plate here, which is also zinc coated, is welded one piece, so one less thing that you have to worry about, a foot plate kind of clanking around or a pin falling out, anything like that. It's one piece, so it's going to stay all together. And that was a look at the eTrailer pipe mounted pivot top wind jack.